All right, Tesla shares had stalled out most of the day. Now you can see them slightly lurching into the green by just a fraction here in the final, what we call it, about 20 minutes of trade here. But a heavy cloud of worry exhaust is still swirling around the company. One of the auto industry's most well-respected voices says it's not the SEC or the Model 3 that's keeping them up at night. It's the guy in the C-suite, Tesla creator Elon Musk, who has consumer edges Jamie Albertine, longtime Tesla bull, now downgrading his rating on the stock from overweight to equal weight. It's not the worst thing in the world, but Albertine's saying in his latest note, Tesla may be at a turning point that requires distancing Elon from some of his corporate roles, allowing him to focus on his passion. But could Elon Musk's controversial approach actually be the key to bankers who are looking to help sell Tesla on going private? Well, we know Elon Musk wants to do it, but does the board? Joining us now is the bull who's getting bearish, Jamie Albertine, and in a Fox Business exclusive, we're happy to have him, and Charlie Gasparino. Charlie, to you first. You've got some exclusive information on how the street is working the privatization of Tesla.
How they're in the process of hiring bankers. We know that there are various banking, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, they're vying to be bankers for Tesla. Goldman Sachs has already been retained. It looks like Morgan Stanley is on the verge of being retained. And here's what we know. Some of the pitches that the bankers say they're prepared to make to potential investors if they go private, if in this privatization play, is that they're going to compare Musk to Bezos, Jobs, and Dell. They're going to say, hey, you have a visionary here. Forget about his tweeting. Forget about some of the crazy stuff. These are one of the few people in corporate America that is a visionary, and they believe there's enough money on the sidelines, at least that's what these bankers are saying, to bring him in. Now, bring him in and bring this thing private. At what price? I have no idea. But these are the sort of pitches that the bankers make. We should make up one other thing. Make this clear. Bankers are also conceding if they can't do the privatization, if it's not in the cards. And, you know, it's a big if, as you know, and we'll get to that in a minute. They can clearly be a recapitalization because this is a company that needs cash. It has some financial issues that recapitalization may allow them to get over the hump and essentially allow Musk to bring the company back in a way, especially if he brings in new management. We should make one other point here. The special committee of the board has hired a crisis manager, Joel Frank. Joel's a longtime crisis manager. Essentially, in the privatization pitch, Joel's going to be the person that runs interference. So they are making the move that they're going to try to do it. That doesn't mean they're going to do it, but they're going to try.
Sure. Jamie, you changed the price target. You lowered it.
I did.
Okay. To what and why?
$311 a share, and what we're looking at is a scenario analysis now that includes a percentage chance that they continue to improve from a fundamental perspective, right? What we saw in the second quarter was there was a significant improvement in profitability and, or I should say, loss relationship and cash flow as the Model 3 production continues to ramp.
Isn't that what matters? Why would you downgrade?
It absolutely matters, and 50% of our price target is related to fundamentals. But now we have three other components we didn't have prior. This is the go private transaction potential, which we put at sort of a 0 to 5% chance, partially because the Saudis, we've at least rumors of them making an investment in a competitor called Lucid Motors. There's two other components, Elon's sort of PR, or the optics of his kind of PR crisis, and now the SEC inquiry. So as we probability weight those outcomes, we've reduced our target price to sort of allow for more risk in the model.
Elon said $420.
Sure.
Now, when he tweeted that, I'm taking it private at $420, I said, at what price? Okay, I know he had written 420, but sure. I said, what, 70 billion, 72? He said 420. What do you say it should be worth?
Yeah, look, I think there's a lot of bulls in the market right now that would love for this to stay public because their views on the long-term trajectory here are significantly higher than $420
and it's so much fun to cover as a publicly traded company.
I'll tell you, one of the things the bankers are saying in these talks, and they're like talking to the company right now,
sure.
talking to the special committee, is that, okay, we'll try the privatization, but if we can't do that, we'll restructure, we'll recapitalize it, and we'll bring it, and we'll keep the company going because there is a future. Now, that's what the bankers say. I will say this: Jim Chanos is short this stock. if there's any short seller that I put my money on, it's him. He's big on fundamentals.
Sure.
And to him, the numbers just are not adding up.
Look, where we sit, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a psychologist, and there's two professions I wish I had a better view on in order to triangulate sentiment around this stock. What we are fundamental analysts, and when all this other legal and psychological, if you will, risk and the optics around it are swirling, we think the stock ends up being range bound for that reason. That's why we downgrade.
Is Tesla still Tesla if they somehow, and I personally think it would be a mistake, but
Sure.
push Elon to the sidelines? Do you think that is a possibility?
I think Elon will go down in history, even if he's not part of Tesla going forward. We believe he will be, but as a great generational visionary. And he, in that capacity and from a product development perspective, he's essential to this stock. But I think we're at a point now where we need a co-CEO or a COO that can really put a stamp on this, the credibility around the numbers.
I don't know
and
how,
shepherd this further.
I'd be just from a regulatory standpoint, I don't know how he stays as CEO if this thing doesn't go private, because then he essentially lied. I mean, then it's proof positive. It's the same thing as Donald Trump saying, he didn't know about the Stormy Daniels payoff when you do know now. You know he knows. This is the same thing. I don't get how he stays in.
Well, I'm not a lawyer. That's a bit above my pay grade, but I appreciate you having me on, and that's our view at this point.
Okay, but you think Elon should stay. It's great. Will you come back, Jamie?
Would love to.
Jamie Albertine. Okay, so he slightly downgraded it, but he's still in it. He still feels it's important here. Jamie Albertine, Charlie, thank you very much.